Concern is brewing over Oregon's spending priorities. At least, that's how Republican House Leader Lucetta Elmer is feeling. Specifically, she's called for accountability over the fact that this biennium, the state is spending almost double what it's spending on police on health care for non-citizens. You mentioned accountability here is important, but since the budget's already been passed, what does accountability look like?
Broadly speaking, accountability is we want to make sure that we're giving the whole story to Oregonians so they understand exactly what all these numbers mean.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fair answer. I was just wondering if you had any approach via legislative action, or if there was some way you could contest the way the budget is being spent. But it sounds like you're just talking about raising awareness.
For sure, raising awareness, because, there can be little clips here or headlines there, but what does that actually mean? And I just want to make sure that there's transparency and that Oregonians truly understand what that means, how these tax dollars are being spent.
And yes, we were able to verify by looking at the budget point blank. Let's say the information is correct. Why not fund undocumented immigrants and their health care as opposed to making hospitals bear the cost for ER visits that will inevitably occur?
Yeah, and I think, that is a fair question, and that is a good point, and that's definitely part of the conversation. But it's not the only conversation here at hand, and I think that's where I really want to raise the awareness. Because if we say simply what you just asked about, that people, undocumented, are going into emergency rooms because they feel that's their only choice. They don't have health care, and so they're going in and they're overburdening maybe the emergency room, or we know our hospitals can't turn people away, nor would we want that to happen, and that is more expensive care. Then mathematically speaking, it would make sense to try to offset that, to have preventative care and take care of medical situations in a way that aren't as expensive. And that's true, and I'm with that theory. I understand that. But what else is happening here is that this coverage to Healthy Oregon is way more than just emergency room visits.
What do you say to people who think this might be xenophobic or problematic?
Break that down for me.
There's some people who might say this disproportionately impacts Latino folks, and yes, they are undocumented immigrants, but it would hurt them disproportionately so.
I think that's just the wrong narrative, honestly. I think that what we're talking about here is saying that we want to make sure Oregonians understand where their tax dollars are going. And so when we have $1.3 billion that we're spending on non-citizens health care, which is all-encompassing of the things that I've already mentioned, and we're spending a little over $700 million on our OSP, that I just think that is something that Oregonians should have in front of them, understand the facts and where they are and how our tax dollars are being spent. I have a lot of constituents who reach out who are frustrated with healthcare and how expensive it is across the state, regardless of anything, just solely based on the fact that they are Oregonians and they are struggling to find affordable health care, or even if they have health care, they have insurance, their deductibles and their portions that they're paying out of pocket are astronomical, and it's frustrating to them when they see facts like the ones that I've elevated.
We also wanted to know why this matters in the first place. Are you concerned about the level of funding for Oregon State Police, and if so, why?
I don't know that I'm concerned. I definitely don't think we should be taking away from it, but I do think that we need to remember that our priorities reflect where the money goes, and that is something that Republicans have been saying over and over. It's not always a revenue problem, but it is a priority issue.
So just to make sure I'm not putting words in your mouth, you're saying we need to be prioritizing American citizens over undocumented immigrants?
I'm saying that Oregonians need to understand where the tax dollars are being spent. And we have $1.3 billion being spent on non-citizens, while only $700 million being spent on OSP.
That's all I have for you. If you want us to explain something else that's happening in Oregon, email us. You can find the email in the description box.